In today's video, I want to show you 3 things that I didn't cover in my Descript overview, review, and tutorial video. If you want to watch that video in its entirety, I'll link it in the description below, or check out youtube.com/Castos and find the Descript overview video. And what I'm going to show you today is the Audiogram feature, the Overdub feature, which is just insane, and the screen recording features. I'll just touch on the screen recording features because that could be a video onto itself. Let's dive into this audiogram creation. Now, I touched upon it just a little bit in that last video, but let's just look at it and talk about the purpose of it. So as the director of podcaster success at Castos, a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, we're trying to get more people to listen to our show, get more downloads. How can I do that? One of the ways is to use audiograms and pull out these really exciting quotes or very informative quotes from your podcast, and it allows it to be a little bit more shareable. So it's going to extract audio and turn it into a video, which is then shareable on social media, Twitter, Facebook. It's a lot more engaging. So it's not going to be the magic bullet that will help grow your audience, but it'll certainly be one of many things that you should do to grow the excitement around your podcast. Let's see how you do it. So this is the track from the previous video, and I'm just going to highlight this line right here. And then I'm going to right-click and clip it to a composition. So I'm going to give it its own composition. You don't necessarily need to do this. I like working with it because if I'm going to make many audiograms, or if I'm going to sit in here and clean up maybe some of the punctuation, some of the words, I'm going to change some things around. It just gives you a canvas to work in that is separate from maybe your larger podcast composition. Plus, if you want to put in music and other things in the background, you could do that with an audiogram. So here it is. It's here. I'm going to say I'll just call this the most important quote, and then we're going to go up to share, and you can publish it to an audiogram. So it's set by default. You go to publish, audiogram, and then you can play around with how this stuff looks. So there's a bunch of different templates. Right now, I actually have a background in there that I uploaded, which you can see right here. I have the audience headliner background, but if I remove that, this is just the standard backgrounds that Descript ships with their software. And let me change the color from white to something else so it stands out a little bit more. Okay. So now you can kind of see the look and feel of this audiogram. You can enable the speaker label, the composition title, or I can disable it because they were already enabled there. So you can kind of see, you can play with these templates and find the one that really works for you or works for your brand. You can upload your logo, your background, etc., etc. We'll go ahead and hit publish. Give that a second to generate. So it says your audiogram is published, and it automatically copies the link to it, or you can just open it up in your browser. I'm going to paste it in my browser. Bring that into the screen. Hit play. So I'm going to share 5 videos from our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Castos, that are worth your time for watching. We'll talk about creating a great show. We'll talk about some of the tools. So that's the audiogram, and you can either use the link to send to people. You can download it right here if you want to use it in other areas of your marketing or your social media stuff, or you can embed the Descript file into like an iframe on your WordPress site, into a blog post, into a page. And again, this is just a way to really share your audio file in little snippets. So again, thumbs up to Descript. They make it very easy. And I suspect that they'll have a lot more templates and styling that you can do in the future. Now, let's take a look at something that's just mind-blowing, right? And this is the overdub. Okay, so let's just say that this is my script and this is what I'm going to roll with my podcast. But then I realized that this intro is missing something, and I might want to add something really quick or fix a word within this text. Let's just take a look at what that's like. So I'm going to say at the end of this script right here, it says links in the show notes. Let's dive right in. And then I'll say something like, we'll add in an overdub. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. And I'll change the speaker to Mat 2, which is actually my overdub label. You'll see that the generating overdub is happening in the bottom right-hand corner. Give that a second to create the overdub, and you'll see there's some text, right? So now let's play that. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. It's crazy, right? So let's hear that all in one. Now, up top is the audio that I recorded directly into the microphone, and then that line is overdub, which you literally just saw me type in stuff in today's episode, and I'll provide the 5 YouTube links in the show notes. Let's dive right in. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. It's very, very close. Now, let me bring you to the section where I set that up. So if we go to the overdub section, what you have to do is train the voice for yourself, right? So you open up a training, and it's just this very long script that you read. Now, I read the script for 15 minutes. I think the recommended time is a half an hour. And then there's like some bonus things that you can read to really sharpen the enunciation of words and et cetera, in the overdub feature. So you spend 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes doing that, and then you can use overdub to repair pieces of your podcast or your audio file, to add pieces to your audio file, which is just phenomenal, right? Of course, like we've all seen some of the stuff that's out there with, AI-driven technology and how you can replicate your video and your voice and all this stuff. So it's not too out of reach to think that this technology is now readily available to us. Phenomenal, right? A million times, like right now, that mix up right there, like I could repair that, and I could just replace the word a million with an overdub and just patch the audio that I'm recording into a podcast, or add things that I forgot to say, or maybe I say the wrong price, or I say the person's name wrong that I'm interviewing. I can go in and change all of that. And then the next powerful feature, and the reason why they have this overdub interface here, is because you can share this voice. You can share your voice with other collaborators on the team. So imagine a small production of 4 or 5 people who all work on a podcast episode, and maybe I'm the host and everyone else comes in to edit. I can share my voice with them, and they can repair my track using my voice, which is crazy, right? It's such a powerful tool, especially in a collaboration environment. So overdub feature is mind-blowing. It's awesome, a little scary all at the same time, but it definitely going to be handy for you. I mean, you could make audiograms out of your overdub voice. So you could come up with a bunch of headlines, a bunch of taglines using just overdub. You don't even have to talk anymore, and then you can help make those audiograms. So awesome stuff. Let's take a look at the third part of the video is the Descript screen recording features. I'm using ScreenFlow to record this right now, a little bit of an inception moment where I'll be recording Descript recording itself using ScreenFlow. But ScreenFlow is still far ahead of where Descript is at for a screen recording tool. So if you're an educator, a tutorial maker, or you're really doing a lot of like product demo videos, as I mentioned in my overview video, Descript is still nowhere near that. But for that entry level to slightly moderate value-added screen recording tool, Descript is pretty fantastic. So let's just take a look at recording it really quick here. So I'll click on the Descript icon up top. I'll hit Start Recording. It's going to ask me to pick a section. So I'm going to pick this monitor here, and you can see I have Descript right up here, and I'm just going to stop it because I don't need it to go further. What you don't see is a little preview window pops up on my main monitor down here, and I'll click on Edit. That'll allow me to bring up the Descript app, and it's screen recorded, right? It's screen recorded what I had up on the screen, and you'll see I can scrub around this, and on the right-hand side, I have the video. So this, you'll see
monitor here.
You'll probably hear me talking right there.
You can see I have Descript right up here, and I'm just going to stop, pick a section. So I'm going to pick this monitor here, and you can see I have Descript right up here, and I'm just going to stop.
It didn't seem like it recorded the entire session that I was talking, but it could be because I'm using both softwares at the same time while trying to capture the the microphone and the display. But you can see that you're editing, same thing. You're editing in the transcript. You can do transitions. You can do some text overlay. So I can do a title. I could say, this is my recording. Drag, oops, I don't want to transition it. I just want to drag the length of it. This is where ScreenFlow really wins because their track-based editing is just very, very smooth. So I'll just
pick.
Oops. So I put the scrub head there.
Right up here, and I'm just.
These are the little UI things that drive me crazy about Descript that you just noticed. Hopping around.
Section, so I'm going to pick.
So there's the little transition. I guess I could also grab it here to try to get it to the beginning. So you saw me struggle a little bit with just grabbing that element on that track and trying to move it to the start, and it just wasn't doing it. So again, you're editing inside the transcript. That'll help you kind of move things around. These are little things that come up, and I'm sure they'll iron them out over time, but they're kind of annoying, especially if you're coming from ScreenFlow, which has its own problems, but is still fantastic when you're building complex screen recordings. You have a lot of your sort of customizations, the colors, the background colors, the stroke width, shadow colors. So, I mean, it's giving you the tool set you need to do the most common tasks for, leveling up your screen recordings. And there's a lot more. I'm not going to dive into it because it would take a whole video to show you all of the features. But just know that still not on the level of ScreenFlow, but really good if you're not, screen recording isn't your main focus and audio is. Very powerful tool. I'm really enjoying Descript. I'm really excited to see where it's going. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out the longer video, which is more of a review, overview, pros and cons. Hope you like it. Leave your comments in the description below. Please share it with friends. All right, we'll see you in the next video.